The Wooden Wonder. The story of the de Havilland Mosquito. In the late 1930s, the world stood on the edge of chaos. The clouds of war were gathering once again over Europe, and the Royal Air Force, the RAF, was racing to prepare for what was coming. To the generals and strategists of the time, power meant metal. It meant heavy bombers covered in machine guns and armor, planes built to fight their way through the sky. And then there was Geoffrey de Havilland, a quiet, thoughtful man, more artist than soldier. He looked at the world differently. Where others saw weight and armor as protection, he saw only drag and limits. His idea was almost heresy: a bomber made of wood, unarmed, unarmored, fast enough to outrun anything that tried to catch it. When he presented the idea, the Air Ministry laughed. No guns, no armor, and made of wood, it will never survive. But Geoffrey de Havilland believed in one thing: speed as protection. He once said, "The enemy cannot hit what he cannot catch." And with that quiet conviction, the dream of the Wooden Wonder began. In workshops scattered across England, teams of carpenters and craftsmen gathered, men and women who had never built an airplane before. They were furniture makers, cabinet builders, boatwrights. They worked not with steel, but with balsa and birch plywood, cut, layered, and glued with precision. Each curve of the fuselage was hen-shaped, each panel fitted with the care of a violin maker. It was light, strong, and flexible, a symphony of wood and glue, designed to dance with the air. Inside this wooden frame were two of Britain's greatest engines, the Rolls-Royce Merlin, the same heart that powered the Spitfire. Together, they gave the Mosquito a speed of over 400 miles per hour, faster than most fighters of its time. And yet, many still doubted. Wooden planes are for toys, they said. They'll burn, they'll break. But when the prototype lifted into the gray November sky of 1940, it was like watching a whisper arch on the wind. The Mosquito was born, and it was magnificent. The first flight changed everything. Test pilots returned wide-eyed, speaking of its grace, how it climbed effortlessly, how it turned like a fighter, but carried the heart of a bomber. Word spread quickly through the IF, and soon, what was once ridiculed became a revolution. Orders poured in. For bombers, fighters, reconnaissance plane, the Mosquito could do it all. It was the Swiss Army knife of the sky. Versatile, beautiful, and untrained pilots who encountered it were stunned. Their message myths and fork wharves struggled to match its speed. One Luftwaffe report read simply, "The Mosquito is faster than our fighters. We cannot catch it." The tables had turned. Britain's wooden plane had become Germany's nightmare. By 1942, the Mosquito was ready for war. It flew low and fast, skimming treetops, dodging radar, striking deep inside enemy territory. It carried bombs, cameras, radar, whatever the mission required. Its first major success came during a daring daylight raid on the Gestapo headquarters in Oslo, Norway. The Mosquitoes flew straight into the city at rooftop height, dropping their bombs with surgical precision, and escaped before the Germans could even respond. Then came Operation Jericho, the raid on Amiens prison in 1944. The target, a German prison in northern France, where hundreds of resistance members awaited execution. In broad daylight, mosquitoes swooped in, their bombs reaching the outer walls, just minutes before an execution was to begin. Many prison has escaped, some paid with their lives. But the world never forgot that mission. A symbol of courage, precision, and sacrifice, the Mosquito was not just a plane. It was hope with wings. It also became the RAF's most reliable photo reconnaissance aircraft. Unarmed, it flew alone over enemy skies, taking the photographs that guided the D-Day landings and revealed the secret weapons of Hitler's Germany. Its pilots often flew 1,000 miles, deep into enemy territory, armed with nothing but speed and the quiet confidence that they were faster than fear. When the sun set, the Mosquito became something else entirely. Equipped with radar, it hunted enemy bombers in the night skies of Britain. Silent, invisible, German crews nicknamed it the Wooden Devil. In the darkness, it struck with precision, shooting down bombers, intercepting V-1 flying bombs, and defending cities under blackout skies. It became the Phantom of the Night, haunting the Luftwaffe's every move. And still, it evolved. New versions emerged, pathfinders guiding bombers to their targets, fighters protecting fleets, even naval strike variants attacking enemy ships. The Mosquito did it all. And always with elegance. To this day, pilots who flew it described the experience not as flying, but dancing. When the war ended, over 7,700 Mosquitoes had been built, each one handcrafted. It won a masterpiece of wood and willpower. It had served in every major theater of the war: Europe, the Pacific, Africa, and in every sky it touched. It left behind awe and admiration. For Geoffrey de Havilland, it was more than just an aircraft. It was a statement. Proof that vision could overcome convention, that imagination could win was. The Mosquito redefined what an airplane could be. And in doing so, it changed the course of aviation forever. Today, only a handful of Mosquitoes remain, restored, preserved, standing proudly in museums, their wooden skins glowing softly under the lights. When they fly, and yes, a few still do, their twin Merlin and angels sing the same haunting melody that once echoed across the skies of Europe. It is the sound of ingenuity, of courage, of beauty born from necessity. So the next time you see one, whether in a film, a museum, all the sky, remember this: it began as a joke, a dream nobody believed in. But like all great dreams, it soared beyond doubt and became a legend. The de Havilland Mosquito, the wooden wonder.